Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samar News. Here are today's headlines.
The International Monetary Fund has approved the latest review of Pakistan's reform program, unlocking $1.2 billion in fresh financing under the ongoing IMF arrangements. Finance Minister Muhammad Aurangzeb said the decision reflects progress on difficult but necessary economic reforms. The package includes around $1 billion under the Extended Fund Facility and $200 million through the Resilience and Sustainability Facility. The IMF said Pakistan met key targets linked to taxation, energy pricing and fiscal discipline, while a new IMF mission is expected in Islamabad later this month for budget talks and further reform discussions. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that Washington expects to receive Iran's response to a U.S. proposal later on Friday, expressing hope that Tehran presents a serious offer that could open the door to negotiations. Speaking during a visit to Italy, Rubio said the United States had not yet received the reply, but remained focused on diplomacy. He also ruled out talks with Hezbollah, saying Washington's engagement remains centered on the Lebanese government amid rising regional tensions. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has rejected U.S. intelligence claims that Tehran's military capabilities were weakened by the war, saying Iran's missile inventory now stands at 120% of pre-war levels. In a social media post, Araghchi accused Washington of repeatedly choosing reckless military adventure whenever diplomacy is possible.
USN and Iranian forces have clashed in the Gulf, and the UAE came under renewed attack, endangering a month-old ceasefire and shaking hopes for a diplomatic solution to the crisis. US President Donald Trump said 3 US Navy destroyers were attacked as they moved through the strait. He said there was no damage to the destroyers, but great damage done to the Iranian attackers. Trump later told reporters the ceasefire was still in effect. Iran's top joint military command accused the US of violating the ceasefire by targeting an Iranian oil tanker and another ship, and of carrying out air attacks on civilian areas on Keshem Island in the Strait of Hormuz and nearby coastal areas. US military naval units operating near the Strait of Hormuz have come under Iranian missile fire after the US military allegedly attacked an Iranian oil tanker. Iranian state media claimed US vessels were forced to retreat after sustaining damage. Iran's semi-official news agency reported that 3 US destroyers near the Strait of Hormuz were targeted by the Iranian Navy. US CENTCOM said Iranian forces launched multiple missiles, drones and small boats as the USS Truxtun, USS Rafael Peralta and USS Mason transited the Strait of Hormuz toward the Gulf of Oman. It said no US assets were struck.
Later, the US military says it has struck 2 empty Iranian-flagged oil tankers that were attempting to violate Washington's ongoing blockade against Iran. US Central Command said the vessels were no longer transiting toward Iranian territory after the operation, adding that a 3rd Iranian-flagged ship had already been disabled earlier this week. Earlier in the day, the CENTCOM claimed that American forces were preventing more than 70 tankers from entering or leaving Iranian ports as part of efforts to restrict Tehran's oil exports. The command said the vessels had the capacity to transport more than 166 million barrels of Iranian oil worth more than $13 billion. Iran's National Security Commission member Ali Kezrian has warned that Tehran will respond militarily to the US naval blockade, saying attacks on Iranian ships will not go unanswered. In an interview, he said that a naval blockade is considered a military act, and a military act receives a military response. Sporadic clashes between Iranian and US forces were reported in the Strait of Hormuz, though Iranian media later said the situation had calmed.
The US military has carried out strikes on Iran's Keshem port and Bandar Abbas. A Fox News reporter, citing a senior US official, said the strikes did not mean the war was restarting or that the April 7th ceasefire had ended. The Fars news agency said residents heard multiple blasts near Bandar Abbas, though the exact source and location remained unclear. It later reported that parts of the commercial section of Bahman Pier were hit during what it described as an exchange of fire between Iranian armed forces and enemy forces. Meanwhile, Iran has seized the oil tanker Ocean Koi in the Gulf of Oman over an alleged attempt to disrupt Iran's oil exports. Iranian state media said the Barbados-flagged tanker was carrying Iranian oil and was trying to harm and disrupt oil exports by exploiting regional conditions. According to state media, the oil tanker, which has been under US sanctions since February, was escorted to the southern coast of Iran and handed over to the judicial authorities.
The United Arab Emirates has said that its air defense systems intercepted missile and drone attacks launched from Iran, as tensions in the Gulf continue to rise despite a fragile ceasefire. Tehran has not officially commented on the UAE claims, but Iran's armed forces accuse the United States of carrying out fresh airstrikes with the help of regional countries. Rescue teams in Indonesia have evacuated 17 hikers after Mount Dukono erupted on Halmahera Island, while the search for 3 missing climbers has been suspended due to dangerous volcanic activity. Officials said the evacuees included 7 Singaporeans and 10 Indonesians. 2 Singaporeans and 1 Indonesian remain missing as thick ash and volcanic material continue erupting from the mountain.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has vowed to fight on to deliver on his promise to bring change to Britain after his Labour Party suffered heavy losses in local elections that deepened doubts over his ability to govern. Just under 2 years after winning a landslide national election, Starmer saw voters punish his Labour government, dealing it a blow in some of its traditional strongholds in former industrial regions in central and northern England. The main beneficiary was the populist Reform UK Party, which gained more than 350 council seats in England and could form the main opposition in Scotland and Wales to the pro-independence Scottish National Party and Plaid Cymru in results later on Friday. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samar.tv. Thank you for watching Samar News.